Hello everyone and welcome to my channel, and today I'll be reading a multi-character listener by me, so let's get into it. Kazuha. He had just come back home from a long day of work, and he was not ready to hear the news. It was all a surprise for him, something that he did not consider. For a while now, he surely talked about it and was an option, one that he liked, but still felt like he needed to be more ready for. Now that it was a reality, it was a whole different situation. He stared at you as you were nervous, fidgeting, hoping to see any sign that he actually likes this and doesn't want it gone. But then, it's there, as he wraps his arms around you and kisses your cheek, telling you that he'll be sure to appreciate you and cherish your child as well. The one that you will bring into this world, and the one that you will love so dearly, because it's made for both of you, and most importantly you, since he loves you so much. And of course, you will love your child as well. He kisses your forehead, and the two of you spend the rest of the evening cuddling, as you talk about all of what you can think, all the imaginations and fantasies of how having a child would be. Heizou. Heizou would be proud of you for telling him, since, well, he knew how nervous you were. He saw you, fidgeting, fearful, because he knew Heizou was not the fatherly type, and you weren't wrong, but you were not entirely right either. He would never leave you in the middle of something like this. He loved you, and his love was not conditional. If you were going through something, then the two of you would go through it together, especially if it was something like this that he was a part of as well. He kissed your forehead, stroking your hair gently, and telling you that you were so brave for telling him, even though you were so scared and worried, and tells you that the two of you could go to a doctor soon enough and see what your options are and discuss how you could deal with this. He didn't mind the outcome, whether I had a child or not. He thought that the idea of you having a child would be a little bit more exciting than he previously thought, and while he might not like the idea of getting tied down and having more responsibilities, if it's with you, he thinks you can do it. As long as the two of you can cooperate on this and find the best option that would be suitable for you, most importantly, then it'll be fine. Albedo. You would tell Albedo right away. And as weird as you were about this, he knew his response would be extremely reasonable. Albedo was very good and kind, and there wasn't anything scary about him. And you were right about that. His response was so nice and so gentle. He would hold you in his arms and discuss the idea with you. And he'd even be your doctor, kind of. For the most part, though, he does take you to an actual doctor. But he knows a lot about this, and he reads up a lot more on pregnancy and parenting, since he's really interested and invested in your child's future and your future together as well. He wants to be a good role model and a good father for them, and he wants to make you happy and make sure you're at ease, since he knows how difficult pregnancy could be, and he wants to accommodate you in every way he can. Venti. Now, as for Venti, you're having a really hard time with this one, not knowing how you could tell him or how you could face him, especially since it was such a difficult topic for one who liked to travel around and not be tied down by any responsibilities. You knew this would be stressful for him, especially since he did not like the idea of having a child once you told him about it before. He told you it would be too much, and he was not sure if he was ready for it. So you were really scared that this would be the end of it all. Your relationship would be no longer as soon as you tell him this. However, he wraps you in his arms as soon as you tell him and asks you what you want to do. He tells you that you have the freedom to do whatever you want, and he will never pressure you to do anything. And as he's a part of this, then he will take responsibility for the child as well and do his best to raise them in the best way that he can. However, he does inform you that he is a little bit clueless and has no idea where to start to read up on pregnancy and children, and he was not good at parenting. If him being an Archon is an example, he was an absentee Archon, one who was simply there as an Archon but did not exist in practice. And that could tell you a lot about how he would feel like as a parent. But he'll try to fix it. He has 9 months left, after all. Scaramouche. Scaramouche would panic. You? You're going to have children? What do you mean by that? You can't be serious. He's extremely worried, panicking over what he'll do, or what will happen, and what this will change. It's a lot to take in at once, and that's why I have him rest on the couch, worried as he twiddles your thumbs. Skira, do you want to leave me? You ask hesitantly, sadness lacing your voice, and he instantaneously shakes his head. I would never. I'm not ready to be a father, Wyan, and I don't know how to be one. You know my childhood. I had no idea how parents were supposed to be. I know, but I know you're better than that. You're nice to kids. You know that. So, I'm thinking if you want, you can give it a shot. And Scaramouche takes one look at you, considering, and just hugs you tightly, nodding into your shirt, telling you he'll think about it first, since he doesn't want to make any rash decisions. And you agree on that. Tighnari. Tighnari is actually pretty safe, and you can tell him anything without worrying. So that's why as soon as you know the news, you surprise him with them. And he's over the moon, wrapping his arms around you and giving you a soft kiss. He's excited about it, and he even just thinks of all the things that will be changed as soon as your child is born. Maybe you'd need to have an extra room. Well, should you make a treehouse? He has so many ideas. And he starts buying parenting books, lots of them, and he takes over cooking. And he's really protective of you. He would be cleaning and cooking so you wouldn't have to move an inch, which is a little bit too much and you tell him to tone it down. By the end of it, he does give in. And he makes sure that in the last few months you don't overexert yourself, since that would be very harmful for the pregnancy. And he's a doctor, so you really got a lesson. Xiao? Xiao would be panicking much like Scaramouche. It's a little bit overwhelming, and he has no idea what kind of father he'd be, or if he wants to be one in the first place. It's a little bit too much. And he blushes a lot too. That's why you wrap him in your arms, stroking his hair, and telling him that you don't have to have the child, but you just want him to consider it and see if it's a good option. And that's when he goes to Charlie, just to tell him about this. And Charlie gives him a pretty detailed opinion on how having a child would be, which makes Xiao consider it a little bit. But he eventually settles on an opinion, and the two of you talk it out and go with what he wants, since he probably would ask for your opinion too, and put it into consideration before making a final stance on all of this. He's really considerate, so you won't have to worry much, and I'll tell you what, he would never ever leave you, so that's not a topic you need to worry about either.